So, I'm not playing support today. Uh, what's up, guys? I am playing mid lane LeBlanc. Uh, kind of interesting. So pretty much, the reason why I'm playing LeBlanc is just because I liked LeBlanc back before they did the Mage update last season. And then after they did that, I kind of just didn't understand how to play her. And so I was just like, ah, whatever, I give up. But then I know Froggen is my favorite LCS player. And during last weekend, when when Echo Fox played, they didn't ban LeBlanc from him. And I knew from watching his streams that that was not a good choice. And they soon learned that that backfired a lot, and he ended up doing like 42% of the damage in that first game on LeBlanc. So yeah, I decided I'm gonna take some time and try to figure out how to play her again, because obviously she's still pretty decent. So I still haven't quite gotten down CSing properly. But yeah, the one main issue that I've been having is counter picks. I still haven't quite figured out how to play against counter picks all that much. There's a lot of champions that what they do is they counter LeBlanc pretty hard once they hit level 6. Annie does this. She kind of can counter LeBlanc earlier, but for this game, I knew that Annie was going to be a really big pain in the ass at level 6, because pretty much if you jump in as LeBlanc, Annie just stuns you and you're just done for. Especially since Annie has Ignite. So my whole goal this game is to hit level 6 before her, punish her in the early game, and then roam a lot. You're gonna see me this game roam a lot. And whenever Annie doesn't have her stun up, I'm gonna try to be looking to trade with her, because that's what I need to do. And unfortunately, my Q got fucked up because the minion died midway through the cast of my Q. So that was unfortunate. Because that would have added in at least another 70 or so damage onto Annie. But it's whatever. So you can see Annie's just gonna hold her stun for a while, and it's going to be problematic for me because I'm already starting to run low on mana, and my wave clear is not that good without my W. So it's just gonna be an issue, and she's gonna be able to just kind of just be like, yeah, you can't trade with me for a while, and we're just gonna sit here farming for a bit. And I just really want to be pushing the wave, and it's not that easy to do when all I have at my disposal is single target spells. So I see that Annie blows her stun, and so now I'm like, okay, time to be aggressive again. And she immediately realizes that, oh, maybe that wasn't a good idea, and goes right back to charging it back up and holding it. So, yeah. Annie still isn't 6 though yet. That's good. So, Gragas shows up. He loses a third of his health because he came into my lane, but I don't take any damage from that. And at this point, I just decided I'm going to back because I have teleport on LeBlanc, so I think I'll be fine as it is. Now, I come in here, and they knew I was teleporting in, which is the best part. He knew I was teleporting in, and he still didn't do anything about it. And yeah, I just literally just teleport to the tri-bush and kill Gnosis. So, yeah, and they kind of knew about it. So then what I do afterwards, when I came back here, I used the second form of my ult, my mimic form, to try to go and like get Annie to think I was coming, and use up a stun. But unfortunately, what happened was she walked towards the bush, because I sent it from the river. She walked towards the bush when I went to go and do that. And the Mimic just automatically used the ability as soon as it got summoned, pretty much. And so Annie didn't burn anything. So Annie's gone from lane right now, which means I want to push. So that way I'm just going to push and then I'm going to roam. I already know that Nasus doesn't have flash from before, so I'm going to come up here. You can see that the enemy just pinged a bunch on the minimap that I was missing. And then there's another ping that was like, oh, you know, LeBlanc is coming. And at this point, it's too late because I have my ult still. Unfortunately, GP is going to die because he doesn't know, like, he just doesn't continue to back off. And I couldn't root Nasus with my chain earlier on because he was in a big minion wave. Yeah, we get our jungle Yasuo kill. And Annie showed up there, and that was fine by me. What Annie's gonna make the mistake of doing is instead of just pushing the wave in, pushing in onto tower, and then going to the opposite lane of where I am, she's instead going to just try to follow me everywhere, and that's not really what she should be doing. She does beat me in lane. She should be forcing me to stay in lane. She should be doing everything she can to make me stay in lane as best as possible. But you can see she's gone again. You can see that she's just gone. I don't know where she went exactly, but I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going back top. Nasus still doesn't have flash. So I fake that I'm coming with my Mimic to just try to fake out Nasus to be like, hey, I'm coming, and then it's like, oh, that's just her Mimic, she's not actually coming, and then I pop up again. So Nasus dies again, and you can see that I am now 2-0-1. I want to make sure that is always up. There we go. Okay. So that's half. So this is going pretty well. I'm beating Annie, who would normally be a counter pick to me, by exploiting her early game weaknesses, and by after she gets to the point where she can do something about me, just continuously roaming. I come down bot, I find Blitz in the tri-bush, and I get an easy kill. I have to flash out here because, yeah, that's an Annie and a Draven. All my abilities were on cooldown. So, and I was low to begin with already. So, unfortunately, that has to happen, and bot lane ends up both dying. But there wasn't anything I could really do. So, I am building towards my Hextech Gunblade this game. It's just super good. The stats on it are just great, and the fact that it gives you regen, the fact that you just... It's the only thing that still gives you quote-unquote spell vamp anymore. It's the only item that does that. But so I show up bot because once again I'm like I can't do anything about Annie when she's in lane with me, so I just have to keep roaming and keep forcing her to go around everywhere. And if you saw, Blitzcrank went to go hook me, and I just happened to use my ult to make him hook my clone instead. And yeah, that was it's really great. You can use your ult to just completely dodge projectile skill shots that stop at the first target hit, or sometimes you'll make it so that the person it's just like they just click on your Mimic instead of you. So I TP back mid because I want to push in the wave to make sure that it's pushed in and I can roam around and not have to worry about Annie being on my tower. I show back up. I see Annie's used her stun. It's not up, and now I'm just gonna kind of freeze the wave here, which is not necessarily the best plan. And I quickly realized that once she's been missing for a while. But I make it so that the wave is by me. I can farm it very easily without any issues, and after that, I go to see if I can roam. I was gonna go down bot, but the bot laner died. The Blitzcrank died, and yeah, there wasn't much I could do at that point. Especially because they had Scuttle to see me coming. So I'm jumping in when I can, when Annie's a bit too far out, to push the wave a bit faster. When, like I said before, without my W, I just have single target spells, and they end up costing a lot of mana. Also, the best way for me to trade right now is to just happen to find a chain onto Annie through everything. So I get hooked here, which is very unfortunate. I wasn't really fast enough with what I was doing. I think I ended up. I wasn't fast enough with paying attention to what was going on and who was around me, so Blitzcrank ended up getting a pull on me, and had it been a bit faster, then it would have gone. I would have survived. So I got shut down, but I do have my Hexa Gunblade. I throw my ult just to scare. I throw my ult Mimic to scare anybody that would be there, force people to use spells maybe, and it kind of works out. So, so yeah, let's just look at that replay again, because there was okay, so right here, Annie has her stun up. Okay, I missed my first chain, which is it's an issue, but I have my ult chain if I want to use that. Annie, for whatever reason, decides that she's going to use her stun on a minion. Right here. I mean, she used the ability to get it, but now I'm like, okay, my E is back up now. I just double jumped with my ult, and then I forced her to flash, and I still got her. So, yeah. Annie's not using, her strengths, as best as she can this game. And, when she doesn't have that stun up, I can punish it, very heavily. So, Thresh got pissed at the Ashe and just didn't want to be down bot anymore. I see that Blitz and Draven were both trying to tower dive, and as a result, I just decided, hey, you know what? Let's just go bot and get a double kill. So yeah, I pick up another kill for myself, and then after that, I decide, oh look at this, Nasus is up here pushing really hard. I missed my first chain, and then he gets inside all these minions, and had I not missed the first chain, we would have gotten him there. But it was it's still fine. For whatever reason, Nasus calls out a gameplay clash when it's still up. But so I'm gonna give up a lot of health on my mid lane tower here, because I was making sure that we got this top tower. And if I lose my mid tower, it's not necessarily a big deal. It allows me to roam more, actually. But it does give us a lack of vision. So, Thresh misses his Q, but Annie goes in and wastes her stun with her Q. And because of that, I just walk up and double chain her and get a free kill. So yeah, you know, once again, Annie isn't necessarily being all that great. She didn't necessarily know I was there, but she should have known that I was top and that I was coming to. Yeah. So the enemy team or the enemy Annie isn't really thinking about how to play around. Because all she has to do is just hold her stun, and I can't do anything. So, I get Blitzcrank with an E, and then I miss my ult chain onto Gragas, and Gragas won't take a lot of damage from me anyways, but it still hurts. I do actually manage to pull a chain through everyone and hit Blitzcrank on accident, really, and yeah. It doesn't end up really meaning anything because they're all moving up, and I stay around for a bit too long, and yeah. yeah. I die. Most of the team dies. GP still has his ult, but they're all here, so it's not really all that good. Doesn't look all that great. And yeah, Blitzcrank gets executed, so I mean that's something, but not not the best play. I have Banshees now. I know that before people were going Gunblade, Lichbane on LeBlanc. With the new rework though to Banshees, I feel that Banshees is a much better item than what Lichbane would be. And that's because you dodge a spell when you jump in. So that in itself is really good. It makes it easier for you to jump in and not have to worry about dying, not have to worry about taking a lot of damage and being unable to go back in again. And it also gives you some pretty decent MR, which is something that I wanted for this Annie because, as I've said this game, that she can just easily kill me if I jump in and she has her stun and ult. She will kill me. So, fortunately, my team plays this out really well. They were already weak to begin with from previous fight. And yeah, we get a few picks off and get some kills for ourselves. So this is the point of the game where it's going to start to just really not going to do anything. Really, that's pretty much what's going to happen. As LeBlanc, you struggle if the enemy team is grouped up a lot. You work best just split pushing a lane as a result of it. However, you can see that the ADC is up in top lane pushing while we're fighting them mid. And yeah, I should be the one split pushing because I have teleport and I can push very easily. I'm very slippery. There's lots of reasons why I should be the one split pushing, and plus I want to be fighting in a 1v1 as well. Against everyone except the Annie. But so, yeah. I don't clearly, I don't tell my team like, hey, I want to split push. You four stay mid and I will split, or we could have me and GP in separate lanes. But yeah. The enemy team's gonna group up and my worth is gonna go down because even with Banshees, I can't jump in against all of that CC because I can only block one. And fortunately, Annie can summon Timbers and block my chains, which I was finding out more and more throughout this entire game. And that part is very frustrating to deal with. So, the game's gonna get into a bit of a lull. It's gonna kind of just be back and forth. We kill you, you kill us, type of thing. Like right here, we're not really all coordinated. We do a lot of damage, but it looks like for a while that it's gonna go badly. And GP actually dies, and I think does Dush die here? Someone dies. Okay, Ashe dies. Then I die, I think, because my jump doesn't go over the little ledge on the wall, and I'm trying my hardest to get away from this. And my ult had another second left before I could do the jump. But Yas comes over. I don't think he gets the blitz. Oh, he does. Okay. But yeah. A little bit of solo queue where we're not really going to do anything. We're going to waste a lot of time. At this point in time, whenever you get into a situation like this where all that's left is the base turrets, the inhibitor turrets, what you should do as a team is you should push the lanes, get vision around Baron, and in their jungle going towards Baron, whether that be the blue or red side. And try to get Baron. If you can get Baron, you're pretty much guaranteed an inhibitor, or at least a tower at the very least, unless you really fucked up. If it's a clean Baron, then you should be able to just walk down mid, or walk down mid and get tower, or or send someone splitting, and so that way they're forced to have to deal with two waves going on to them that they have to take care of, and they're forced to split up their resources. So, I almost killed Draven here. And that's one of the nice things about LeBlanc is that you can dive in without having any real worries about anything. You just dive in, kill someone, and jump back out. It's very nice. I was gonna kill Gragas there, but GP just flash queued and didn't think he was gonna do that. And yeah, this game went pretty well. I mean, 10, 3, and 10. And I helped our Gameplank do very well. I helped him in his lane. I was up top like 3 or 4 times before mid game. Because, you know, I went up top once, burned. I TP'd top. I teleported top. They knew I was teleporting in, and he still died to me, that's just bad on there. But yeah, things went pretty good. Things went pretty good this game. One of the main things I did was I snowballed our lead that we had. I did what I could to get a early lead in my lane, and then I went and took that lead into other lanes. Now the enemy takes Baron, which is not gonna help us at all. However, we get Blitzcrank, and from there, Ashe ults someone, which puts him on rather low health. And this is not necessarily the best thing, but like, had they been at higher health, which they were a little earlier, I really couldn't go in because I'm very squishy. And I think their Draven was there at the time as well. The Draven backed, and then their 2 tanks were at half health, and we were all there, so yeah, their whole team just kind of let us roll on in. And then Thresh is going to find Annie. I'm going to chain her, or I would have if she didn't Zhonya's, which, you really think Zhonya's is the best thing when the freaking LeBlanc is the one that's kicking your ass? But whatever. Poor itemization from Annie. And yeah, the enemy team tries to fight us in a 3v5? Kind of. They got caught out, which forced that to happen. But still, kind of got cut out. And because the rest of my team is so fed, you can see that Gnosis has Randuins and Gragas has Randuins. Gragas didn't have a single bit of MR. Blitzcrank didn't have a locket, which he should have definitely had that instead of an Iceborne Gauntlet. And Gnosis, all he had for MR was a ZZ Rot, which is not a whole lot. And they had both Gnosis and Gragas had to get Ninja Tabby for the rest of my team, which was so much physical damage. And yeah, it was a good game. Like I said, exposed the weakness, lane opponent, and once they had an advantage over me, I just said, yeah, no, I'm not fighting you anymore. I'm just fighting the rest of your team at this point. Pretty good. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Remember to like and subscribe if you did. And yeah, see you on the next one. Thanks.